Howdy from Texas. This is Heath Hipple with Bugs Fishing, and I want to give you an update on the NED bugs and also tell you about where the idea came from. So I'm familiar with that type of fishing, the finesse fishing, definitely from the bass world, but I didn't seriously consider applying it to saltwater fishing until last fall. Captain C.A. Richardson at Flats Class University, I met him a long time ago. He seemed like a good guy, and we've kind of kept in touch. We have some mutual friends, and he posted a picture to Instagram of probably an upper 30s inch snook that he caught on a Ned rig. And it was a soft plastic, one of the really plain looking soft plastic Ned rigs. And so it intrigued me for a couple of reasons. It was a big fish. And so, not that I need reminding that big fish eat small stuff, I know that, but it was a big snook, and it ate a small, a little tiny Ned rig. I hadn't heard of somebody fishing a Ned rig in saltwater before, so I said, Juices started flowing, and I started experimenting a little bit, and then I also reached out to CA, and I said, hey, what would you think about a Ned rig, or a Ned bug, like a Ned rig that's tied to imitate something? And so he was very positive on the idea, gave me some pointers, and so I was off and running. Like I said, the creative juices were flowing at that point. Because the fishing industry blew up last year, but also people had trouble getting materials to develop new products, and I'd settled, like back last winter, I settled on a hook, and I settled on a design for a jig head. And so I had to have my own jig heads made because I needed a shank that didn't have anything on it, because I was going to tie to the shank, but everything else is made to hold a soft plastic. And I also found a hook that I really liked. It's an owner hook, and so I placed an order for these hooks back in December of 2020. And so thankfully I did that, because the hooks just arrived in July last month. But I've been experimenting and tying and making sure that I had the designs ready. And so I've also been in contact with CA and come up with two designs. One is more of a shrimp, crab, crustacean imitation that I'll show you at a later date, but I've posted to my Instagram before. But the other is a minnow imitation. And so I just tied one up, and I'll show you what that looks like. And so that is a Ned bug, the minnow imitation. It's got a rabbit wing right there, and this is called a bling rabbit strip. And so there's two reasons it's called bling, or two reasons I like it. One is that it's got that reflective tape on the bottom, gives it a little bit of flash. It also makes it a little bit stiffer than a regular piece of rabbit. And so what that allows me to do is to tie a jig with a 2-inch piece of rabbit, and there's the hook right there, but it's stiff enough to where it's not going to foul. It's not going to wrap around the hook. And so those bling rabbit strips from Hairline just is the perfect rabbit to use if you're going to create this minnow. Then there is some flash and a little bit of a rabbit collar. So it's pretty sparse, but that's how it's supposed to be. Lastly, there is some accent flash on the bottom. In this case, it's red. And then there's also a weed guard there. There's four pieces. It's from the fiber guard that you would get on a bass jig, but I've just plucked 4 pieces from a fiber guard and used that. And weed guard is one of those things you might say, Heath, I don't need a weed guard. Why are you putting a weed guard on there? Well, because you can't add it. And so a lot of my customers like having weed guards on there, and so if you don't like them, you can just snip them off, but you can't really add it. And so I kind of do that as a default on just about everything I design, because you don't like it, you can cut it off. But it's kind of funny on this. This is a black gold bug, and it's kind of interesting. One of the colors that CA asked me for is this, and he called it something different, but the way he drew it up and the way he said, hey Heath, you want to use these colors, it's black gold. And so it's kind of cool that, whereas that's a favorite of ours in Texas and Louisiana. They definitely love it in Florida also, and all the different places that CA fishes. And so black gold, a black gold Ned bug, Ned minnow bug. Haven't really decided what exactly we're going to call them, but a Ned bug, the minnow version, is going to come in a black gold. And so that's what this looks like. It's about, overall it's about 2 3/4 inches long, maybe 3 inches long. I hope y'all like that profile. There's also going to be a crustacean type, what's going to look like a shrimp or a crab. I'll show you one of those here pretty soon. But tell me if you like this. I'd love to hear about the colors you'd like to see, although I'm really close to finalizing the colors, but I'd love to hear what colors you'd like to see, and if you're excited to fish a Ned bug in saltwater. Catch you later.